back to Stock Talk, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Today we have a very important topic and an interesting topic as well. We're going to be talking about support and resistance. You must have heard about this if you're anywhere close to the trading community or AMC or any of those. You must have heard the term support and resistance. So today we're going to go talk about that, and let's get started. Cool. So what is support? Well, this is a very simple concept, but a very important one. And it gets more complex as we get more into depth with it, but I'm going to keep it very simple today. So, support are areas where traders / investors think it's a good price zone to buy. Support is also known as demand zone. Why? Because the demand in those price zones are higher than the supply. Okay, cool. Now, what is resistance? Once we've done, let me get this. All right. Resistance are areas of price where traders / investors think it's a good price to sell. Resistance is also known as supply zone. Why? Because in those zones, supply is higher than demand. Now, based on this definition, we know that at support zones, price tends to bounce, and at resistance zones, price tends to bounce down, right? So let's look at it. Let's look at a few examples. So I have Nike here, okay, and I'm going to walk you guys through my way of making support and resistance. It's not the only way. There's probably hundreds of ways of doing this, but I like to keep my stuff simple. And if you guys want to copy my ways, you're more than welcome to do it. That's why I'm sharing it. And yeah, let's get started. So first step, I always look at the monthly chart of the stock that I'm looking at here. We're looking at Nike. And then what I do is I go here and I select horizontal line. And this may not be necessary to do, but I like to do it because it's part of my process and I like to be very systematic. So I mark the all-time lows and the all-time highs. Boom. So what does this tell me? Support is usually areas where market tends to bounce, where traders and investors think it's a good price zone to buy, right? So the lowest price point Nike's ever been and the highest price point that Nike's ever been would act like support and resistance. Does that mean Nike's ever going to go to all-time lows? Very unlikely. All-time highs, well, you can expect Nike to show some kind of resistance when it gets back to its all-time highs. Is it going to do that anytime soon? I don't think so, because that's a pretty gnarly looking double top on the monthly chart. So anyways, let's keep moving. So I look at the monthly chart. Now, let's see what areas based on this price chart right here do we think that buyers thought it was a good price to sell. So here was one that got rejected, bounced back, so that's a good support. Now you got to keep in mind that old support can become new resistance and new resistance can become old support. Okay, now why did I draw this line here? Because I can see that 1, 2, Nike tried to go past this level twice and it failed, and then finally it broke out and then it retested. So this was resistance, it went up, came back down, retested that area as a support, and then it bounced back up. So old resistance became new support. All right, so that's one that I see. Where's another one? There's one right there, a pretty nice one. We got rejected here, saw some pushback down here, then we broke out, used it as support, went up, came back, used it as support again. All right, cool. I'm still on the monthly chart. I haven't zoomed in at all. Where do I see more? Okay, so I see one right there. Boom, that's another support zone. Okay, now let's zoom in a little bit. So next step I do is I go from monthly to weekly chart. Boom, now it gives me more data to look at. All right, let's see. We got some support here that was broken. We've got some right there. Boom. Now let's go into the daily chart. Yeah, we got some support right here as well. Boom, done. Now, I do want to focus on pointing out some very, very important points, right? So these support and resistance lines are just lines on your screen. These are not things that the world sees. It's just lines that are on your screen. But the reason why I'm saying this is not because these lines don't work. It's mainly because you cannot look at these lines as just lines. These are price zones. You cannot be like at 105.26 is the support and there's no support at 105.23 or 0.24, right? You can't be too exact with this because it is very subjective. I could say 106 is my support, you could say 104 is your support. So you gotta have an open mind and use it as zones rather than precise lines, okay? All right, moving forward. So now that I have drawn my support and resistance lines over here, how can I use it to my advantage? Well, let's see what Nike's. Let's go back and look at some examples. So let's say we were let's say we were boom. Let's say this is where we're at in time and Nike did this. Actually, would this work? No, because we don't even know if the support is here. Alright, cool. So let's look at this example. Boom. So let's say we're back in time, 12th of January of 2021. Okay. We know that Nike hit this spot and it got rejected. So we know there's some kind of resistance there. Let's say you bought over here. Okay. Let's put in. Boom. Say you're an amazing trader, one of the best in the world, and you end up buying right there. Boom. We know that it's been rejected at that level before, so maybe we could have a plan where our plan is to sell into resistance. Because remember, you want to sell into strength and buy into weakness. So this is our target. Boom. That would be a nice trade. Now, we know that at resistance price tends to go down. So could we do something for my traders who know how to short the market? Because you can make money when the stock goes down in this market as well. So could you do something like this, where you're like, I will short Nike here and I will take my profits maybe somewhere closer to this support zone if it gets there. Will it get there? Nobody knows. But let's see if it works. Boom. We are in profit. We're going. It's just bouncing sideways. Boom. That's it. I'm out. I hit my support. Now, would I realistically stay in this trade this way? Probably not. If I got in here, I would trail my stops and get out probably somewhere around here, right? And then do the same thing again. Every time it comes close to resistance, short it. Boom. Every time it comes close to support, go long. Boom. Right? So, this is the way traders use support and resistance. Now, let's go do another practice run on another stock following the same method. let's see, let's look at COSTCO. COSTCO is a pretty good stock, so let's go to the monthly. Boom. Let's mark the all-time lows. Let's mark the all-time highs. Alright, let's start looking for some more data points. Now also remember that when you're making support and resistance, if you're trying really hard to find it, it's probably not there. It should just stand out to you, right? And also don't like make your charts a coloring book with a bunch of lines in it. Keep it tidy, keep it clean, so it's easier on the brain, it's more tidy, so it's easier to spot the information as it moves, as it evolves. So this right here is another support, old support, new resistance type of game. Wow, this is a pretty strong trending stock. I need more information, so I'm going to zoom into the weekly chart. There we go. So I see there's some there, we got some there, boom. I'll just move this up here. We got some there. We got some here. Let's zoom in. Alright, so this is interesting. Boom. Okay, we're at the daily chart. We see COSTCO come in here, do its thing. We know that this is resistance. We wouldn't have known until this candle came and got rejected off there. So let's say it comes there. Could you short it? Could you short it right off this resistance? Probably. Like that. Go see what's up. Would you get a trade? Boom. I'll probably get out here, trade my stop loss. Yep, I'm out of that trade. So see, it was at resistance and we shorted it. Now let's see what it does. Boom. Okay, this is interesting. It's breaking past this resistance. So let's see how much strength it has behind this move. Right? Okay, so we're going higher. Now, what did I say before? I said old resistance becomes new support. So now that I know that this stock is going higher, and clearly investors and traders think that this stock is worth going higher, it's in an uptrend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to come back to this old resistance spot and buy it, right? So wait. I don't know if it's ever going to come back, but oh, it doesn't look like it's coming back. So it's gone. Right now it gets rejected up there. That's a new resistance. Let's see. Boom. Okay, there we go. We know that this support zone is coming. Wow, look at that, right off the support. So if you had your buy right there, stop loss right there, and you're targeting there, that's wow. That's a crazy trade. All based on simple magic lines, right? So, to summarize, support and resistance are areas where traders and investors think supports are areas where it's a good price to buy, resistance are areas where it's a good price to sell. And I walked you guys through the process of how I make my support and resistance lines. You zoom out, you start with the monthly chart, go into the weekly chart, go into the daily chart, and if you're a day trader, I would start looking at 4-hour, 1-hour charts as well, right? Keep it simple. Don't make too many lines on your chart, because then you're gonna start getting confused as to which line is more stronger for support, whereas less or weaker support, blah blah blah. So keep it simple, keep it clean, keep your charts clean. I use TradingView for my charting service. It's free. You guys can use it as well. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. You can always also message me on my on the Stock Talk Instagram, And if you like the video, if you like the information, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and share it with your family and friends. Take care.